Sorry. What's good? Ohio Cannabis Report. Sorry, I was mute. But just coming to you guys with another episode. I'm also on my TikTok live as well. So if you see me looking over, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to put up some new articles today, just going over all things happening in the Ohio cannabis landscape. Obviously, the other day we talked about Sub Bill 56 being passed, and there's still a lot of uncertainty, and people still don't know what's going on. As of now, the law is still issue 2. What's good, Kevin? Appreciate you tapping in. Again, this channel too is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a lawyer. I do not work in the cannabis industry. I am an independent media person. I am not a journalist either. I don't really subscribe to myself as a journalist. I am married to a journalist, like a real journalist. She actually has an Emmy Award right over here. So I won't wear the badge of journalism. I am just a human being doing my civic duties, sharing information that is readily available to everybody on the internet, and sharing my perspective on that information. Glad I could finally catch the live. Oh man, appreciate it. Let me know if you want to hop in. I'm gonna put in. I usually allow people to hop in the live if they want to, so I'll put the information in the chat. I love to talk to people from Ohio about Ohio, cannabis politics, and what's going on. Obviously, there's a lot of information and things happening. So yes, I'm just going to cover some of the issues that I didn't get to yesterday. So let's check this article out. More drivers using marijuana on the road. Researchers studying 6 years of highway fatalities in one Ohio county found more than 40% of 246 autopsy drivers tested positive for cannabis. Their findings, presented to the American College of Surgeons this month, show evidence of higher than expected marijuana use immediately before driving based on THC concentrations in the blood. They warn that the lack of public awareness around marijuana's dangers behind the wheel puts lives at risk. Legalization in Ohio took place in the middle of the 6-year study, but did not significantly change drivers' behavior based on the number of deaths. Among Maryland medical use patients, 39% admitted to using marijuana before driving in 2023, the year marijuana was legalized in the state, up from 18% the year before. According to the Maryland's 2025 Cannabis Use Biannual Report, the report also found that up to 10 times as many fatalities involved alcohol as marijuana, 207 to 22 in 2022. At the Maryland Shock Trauma, almost 1 in 4 crash victims tested positive for THC, the intoxicating ingredient in cannabis, said John Lazaro, Director of Media Relations for the Maryland Department of Transportation Motor Vehicle Administration. The number includes drivers, passengers, pedestrians, and others injured in car crashes. So again, like, passengers and pedestrians were also included in that. Among an average of 182 patients each month, 23% tested positive for cannabis, he said. However, this data does not indicate whether cannabis impairment was a factor in those crashes, which is an important part. You have to read the whole thing, right? However, this data does not indicate whether cannabis impairment was a factor in those crashes. That's a big statement. The Ohio results confirmed a 2020 National Highway Transportation Safety Administration finding that cannabis was the most common drug identified in crash patients treated at East Coast trauma centers, including shock trauma in Baltimore. That study found 56% of people injured or killed on U.S. roadways tested positive for alcohol or drugs, with up to 32% testing positive for THC. They also found drug and alcohol use increased slightly during COVID-19 pandemic before returning to averages. Marijuana impaired drivers have a harder time staying within their lanes, as well as maintaining a steady speed and safe following distance. I find people to struggle with that shit, whether they're on marijuana or not. You'd get behind the old person and they'd be like, the steering wheel right here, and they'd be like this. Now, you 70, get off the road, grandma. Now, I'm a high performance athlete. Like, when I'm tuned in, We tuned in. Everybody else, I can't call it. Researchers tested drivers' performance in a vehicle with a second set of brake and gas pedals after vaping THC or a placebo. They found these impairments faded after about an hour. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention reports that cannabis affects areas of the brain that control bodily movements, balance, coordination, memory, and judgment while impairing important skills required for safe driving. Marylanders spend close to $100 million per month on cannabis products, according to the Maryland Cannabis Administration, with 20% of that use prescribed by doctors. Fairly interesting. What do you guys think about that? Fairly interesting article. Not sure if SB 56 makes it through the Ohio Senate after all the changes. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make it, but again, we got to keep applying pressure. We got to keep, ensuring that our representatives are educated on it. And, they keep trying to hang on this narrative of children while completely gutting what people really wanted with issue 2, right? Like, we still haven't gotten tier 3. Like, we still don't have tier 3 in our program yet. You know what I mean? So we still don't have tier 3. We still don't have craft grow. There still's been no allocation of the money and resources, the 36% of taxes that's supposed to go to the community fund and social equity program. We still don't have lounges. We still don't have delivery. There are still so many things that are missing. We still haven't even reached the peak of dispensaries that we can have. You know what I mean? So, you still have people that the cost is still very high. So people are still enticed to go to Michigan or still, however they get their weed. You know what I mean? So, again, I don't think the Senate will pass it, but, just got to stay on them. Because my belief is once you open up Pandora's box, it's just like with the hemp program, right? Once we passed the hemp bill, that opened up Pandora's box. So the governor could come and try to do what he want to do anyway, but you opened up Pandora's box already. You know what I mean? You already got people that are spending millions of dollars, making millions of dollars in the business now. You know what I mean? So they done been sued twice already. So, they do these things for the media clout too. That's what a lot of people got to understand. And they do this stuff. They do the press conferences. They do, like, you won't hear from the governor. We ain't heard about from the governor yet with the shutdown and food stamps. He ain't done no big press conference, but the weed, we got to have a big press conference for this Delta 9. Get out of here, buddy. Ottawa City Council moves potential amendment cannabis ordinance for it. That's Minnesota. They showing me Minnesota. Order blocking governing DeWine's ban attack canning hemp extended. Yeah, this is all right. We got local 12 article. Order blocking Governor DeWine's ban on intoxicating hemp extended until December 2nd. Columbus, Ohio, WSYX. A Franklin County judge has extended an order that stops Ohio Governor Mike DeWine's ban on products that contain intoxicating hemp. According to the court filing, the injunction hearing scheduled to happen October 27 has been moved to December 2nd. Governor DeWine issued a ban earlier this month, calling the products a serious threat to public health and safety, especially for children. The product in question contains psychoactive compounds such as Delta 8 THC and Delta 10 THC. These substances are commonly found in vape pens, edibles, drinks, and gummies. Legislators are working to pass a law that would ban such products. Senate Bill 266 seeks to ban all untested intoxicating hemp products. Meanwhile, the Ohio House recently passed a bill updating the state's marijuana law. Yeah. That's some weirdo shit. Ice cream shop owner arrested after allegedly recording underage employees in bathroom. What a fucking weirdo, bro. Like, this that type shit that's the shit they should be more worried about. Oh, kids are getting, and like a 7-year-old just shot himself and killed himself in Grandview yesterday. I wonder what color he was, because Grandview is a predominantly white community. But, weed's the problem. Guns are the problem. Legal marijuana tax distribution changes closer to reality. I ain't do my plug yet either. Let me go ahead and do a commercial break. Hemp ban. It was paused to December 2nd. So that's not 14 days. That's, what is it, October 27th? So that article just said that it was paused until December 2nd. So I'm going to do a little commercial break. Shout out to the homies at App Girls Cannabis for always showing love to your boy. If you're in Ohio, go pick up some App Girls Cannabis at your local retailers. If you want to find a local retailer near you, go to appgirlscannabis.com and they have a store finder where you can find where App Girls Cannabis is sold. They also deliver. They also have pre-rolls. I think they have some edibles. I think you can buy some flour on there as well. It's all hemp. It's all Ohio. They're in Appalachia, so they're in Nelsonville, Athens area. The founders are Bobcats, so go Bobcats. But yeah, definitely go support. They got 4 different flavors. This is my favorite. This is the black cherry, up to 50 milligrams. They got the half and half. They have strawberry lemonade seltzer that's really nice, and then they have like a Mountain Dew type. Yes, they do ship in Ohio, and then they do have some locations all around the state. I do not. I'm in Columbus, so they have about we got about 4 or 5 locations here in Columbus, maybe more that have them. But go online to appgirlscannabis.com. Let me make sure I'm sending y'all to the right spot. And they have the store locator on there. So here's here's the website. So yeah, go to appgirlscannabis.com and then they have a store locator and you can basically see all the stores they got. Real cool peoples. I've been working with them for a little while now. We partnered on some products. So yeah, here are all the different spots in Columbus and around the state. Got Kentucky. And yeah, I mean, they're real good people. So they've been some of the only people to actually speak up at the state house against the legislators and what the legislators are doing. They're hemp farmers. So they really got their, their feet, their hand in the soil. So these are 2 of the founders. Shout out to Josh. This is them actually at the state house. So yeah, cool folks. I'll show you how the drinks. So yeah, the citrus soda is the newest one. And then all these 3 go up to 50 milligrams. So they got 5 milligram, 25, 50. Then they have 10 milligram, 25 milligram. So definitely show love to the homies over at App Girls. All right, now to my article, The Center Square. The voters who overwhelmingly approved recreational marijuana use in Ohio could soon experience restrictions. Despite the new constitutional amendment that spelled out marijuana regulations, lawmakers want to tighten the reins by limiting where it can be smoked, how it can be transported, and the penalties for breaking the law. Lawmakers, however, did keep a 36% cannabis tax that goes towards communities that allows a dispensary. A plan to increase the tax on recreational marijuana from 10% to 15%, however, did not make the final compromise. However, constitutional mandates on how the tax money will be spent were changed. Originally, voters approved allocating the money for substance abuse fund, a social equity fund, communities with dispensaries, and administrative costs. The proposed legislation eliminates the social equity fund. Legal sales began in the state August 2024, following the November 2023 general election that approved recreational marijuana with 57% vote. The constitutional amendment included none of the restrictions closer to reality, including a ban on public smoking and a reduction in legal protections for marijuana users. Quote, while not a perfect bill, Senate Bill 56 enshrines important legislative victories for adult use users and takes a first step in creating a regulatory framework around intoxicating hemp, end quote, Rep. Jamie Callender, Republican from Concord, said in a statement. Lawmakers have also cut in half the number of plants that could be grown in a home from 12 to 6 and reduced the THC level from extracts from 90% to 70%. Penalties for exceeding the homegrown limit would now be a felony level trafficking offense. Lawmakers had tried to require marijuana and paraphernalia to be transported in the backseat of a trunk or trunk of a car and ban anyone fired from a job because of marijuana from being eligible for unemployment. Those provisions also failed to make the compromise, but marijuana would have been transported in its original unopened package. Substitute Senate Bill 56 now heads back to the Senate after passing the House. So I'll tell you that shit ain't gonna pass the Senate because one, ain't no social equity. So that was a huge part of the bill. And people keep thinking that social equity is just black people. Like, no, social equity is poor white people too. You got poor white people in the rural communities. You got poor white people in urban communities that have been impacted by the war on drugs, right? You have Hispanic people. Like, so again, whether we change the name of social equity, I know a lot of people just have this DEI, social equity, black, it's just like SNAP benefits. Black people ain't the only, we not heavily on SNAP. That's not us. We not the welfare queens over here. You know what I mean? But again, the wealthy people shouldn't be the ones reaping all the rewards for the cannabis industry now, which is crazy to me. And that's why we started Ohio Cannabis Report. And I started doing these lives because, again, there are things happening that the average person is not aware of. And then we're like, oh, well, why this, why that? 36% of that cannabis tax money going to cities and communities. And they're going to take out one of the biggest parts of why we passed it. The proposed legislation eliminates social equity fund. Black and brown people are overwhelmingly, disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. We were the ones fucked up by cannabis prohibition, not white people. Our communities, our families were fucked up. Oh, you can't stay off the weed, so now I'm going to take the baby. Oh, you got caught driving and the car smelled like weed and the police officer found a roach. Now you going to jail. Mandatory minimums. You got a couple baggies, not enough to really sell, but since they in individual baggies, now it's attempt to distribute. Now you're a drug trafficker. Now you're seen as a bad person. Now that fucks you up for school, college, housing, employment, and everything else that stems from that. The psychological things that happen, the mental health, and then that leads to other substance issues. Then that leads to other healthcare issues. And then the fucking chain fucking continues. And now you have a bunch of greedy white folks at the top of this cannabis industry that are pouring in millions of dollars and making millions. The state has sold over $3 billion of cannabis, and none of that money has filtered back into the community. They're not doing any programming. They're not doing any education. They're not doing any healthcare help. They're not helping people transition from opioids and harder drugs to cannabis. That should be the thing. If you're struggling to get off of alcohol, if you're struggling to get off of pills, if you're struggling to get off of some more of these toxic things, we should be transitioning them into something easier, like a cannabis. And then giving them tools and resources, helping them with healthcare, helping them with workforce development, helping them. Like, the system is so fucked up. It just takes, and then doesn't create wraparound services that help everybody else. And it's fucked up. Because if you have money, if you have opportunity, you good. But if you're just fucked up in the cycle, you don't fucking know. Everybody should have their records expunged. Cannabis is legal. You got white girls on LinkedIn and Instagram. In their bio, it says legal drug dealer. Get the fuck out of here. You just graduated from college. You got real thugs locked up for drug trafficking. You got real people, good people locked up for types of shit. And you out here, oh, I'm a legal drug dealer. Ooh, with weed in your mouth. You know what I mean? On the golf course and shit. That shit make me sick. And people are too afraid to call out the bullshit. But I mean, that's what it be. Like, let's keep it a buck. I know hella white dudes living out in the suburbs growing hella weed, making rosin, making presses and shit. Flaunting. You know what I mean? Now that it's legal, you know, grandma, mom, dad been supporting him. Now it's legal, and now he legit. Fuck out of here, man. Should be irritating me. Columbus or Cannabis Control Board bills. No. I read that one yesterday. Yeah, so it's not. I mean, it's not a whole lot going on right now in that. Let me see if they've updated. Wow. I want to go to the news, bro. And all of this stuff is like you can find all of this stuff online too. So this is the Ohio Department of Cannabis Control. Here's their monthly updates. So today, actually, they updated it. So let's see what they got. 37 certificates of operations for cultivators. Here are all the cultivators in Ohio. And it usually shows you what level they are. They're dual use cultivators, level 2, level 1. Again, there should be level 3, just to point out. And then let's look at the business names: Ancient Root, Appalachian Farms, Agromed Ohio, Ascension Biomedical, Buckeye Relief, Canamed Therapeutics, Certified Cultivator Corporation, Celio Jordan, Columbia Care, Cresco, Farkas Pharmaceutical, Fire Rock, FN Group, FW Green Investments, Galenus, Green Investment Partners, Greenleaf Gardens, Grow Ohio, GTI, Harvest Grows, HEMA, Mother Grows, NEN Holdings, Ohio Grow, Ohio Clean Leaf, OPC, Paragon, Parma Wellness, ParmaCan, Pure Ohio Wellness, Right Gene, Riviera Creek Standard Wellness, Terradol. So these are all the people the companies that are cultivators. So they're the ones growing and processing cannabis right now. These are the only ones allowed in the state and that are licensed. Here are the dispensaries, and then here's the information about licensees, right? So you have 178 licensees with certificate of operation, 11 licensees with provisional licenses. Here's the fee. Application fee, $5,000. Initial fee, certificate of operation, $70,000. Biannual license renewal, $70,000. The application period for dispensaries is closed. When the state of Ohio Board of Pharmacy was the licensing regulatory authority over dispensaries, it held 2 requests. I can read the rest of that. So, yeah. Again, all of this is public information. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't doing nothing. It's all public information. So if you wanted to see it, so here is 37 certificate of operations, 48 certificates of operations for processors, testing labs, dispensaries. I'll show you a map of the dispensaries in the state. I got some news. Let me paste my email. What's the email I can forward to you? Ohio Cannabis Report at gmail.com. What is a hemp dispensary? You asking the wrong person about this one. I don't fucking know. Your guess is as good as mine, sir. But it's the Ohio GOP doing whatever the fuck they want to do. That's the problem. So either we got to vote them out because they won't listen. The only people they're listening to right now is OCAN, which OCAN is the lobbying arm for the Ohio industry right now. So OCAN, Cannabis Coalition, they're basically the lobbying arm for all of those cultivators, processors, licensees, and dispensary owners. Not all of them, but a majority of them. And so they all pay basically OCAN, and OCAN basically facilitates the conversation between the lobbyists, and they're really the ones behind the big hemp push. And then they're the ones behind, trying to limit home grow. They're trying to limit social equity. I mean, just look at them. They don't want anybody that don't look like them to be owners, right? All of the owners right now are like old rich white dudes. Like I can go company for company for company for company for company, and what you will see, if it's, I mean, even if it's a holding company, or it's, you look at True Relief, you look at but it's like 3 or 4 big ones they just own everything. So yeah, I don't know. A dispensary that sells cannabis products that contain hemp-derived cannabinoid THC. But like that's my thing too. It's like, why the fuck would you open up a hemp dispensary? You know what I mean? Like it's just like they're just making things more complex for no fucking reason. But again, this is why people in the cannabis industry, if you're a grower, raise your fucking voice. Create an educational platform and program. Educate your local community. Educate your local city councilmen, your county commissioners. Like, if you are in a position of influence because you know things, because you've been growing weed for 30 years, say something. I'm seeing a lot of people in the cannabis industry will talk hellish shit because somebody growing some shit just because they're trying to learn, but then they won't put themselves out there as an educator in the cannabis space. They won't put themselves out there on Front Street and go talk to the politicians at the State House. Nobody telling you to out yourself at the State House and tell the fucking politicians that you growing fucking a farm full of weed. But you can go there and have a fucking conversation, because guess what? You pay taxes. If you're afraid of getting locked up, guess who controls the police? The state politicians, right? Guess who controls all the prisons, the healthcare system, the funding for all of these things? So if you're not getting involved, but you're so involved trying to make money and do it, you hustling backwards. Because guess what? The politicians is getting kickbacks. The politicians don't care what the people say or think. They go against you because you're not going to do nothing. I'm going to get a little kickback if this bill goes through and this company is allowed to make X amount of money. And then if I do get found to be incompetent and I lose my job, I have a job over here. That's a private company. So now, once we get out of the public spotlight, I can go mosey on over here and get paid 6 figures, and I done hooked them up. So now I'm going to get a cushy job making $200,000. And that's how they rinse and repeat the game. And so a lot of people that get caught the fuck up are poor people and people that's just ignorant, because you're like, oh, well, the politicians going to be the politicians. You pay them. You pay taxes. So if you want to don't hold people that are on your level accountable. Poor people like to hold poor people accountable. Hold the rich people accountable, because those are the people fucking you perpetually. It's not your neighbor. It's not the black dude who's trying to get it out the mud. It's not like, it's like everybody, you one paycheck away from not having food on the table, not having a roof over your head. And people would rather complain and fight on that level than go to the State House and challenge the people in the suits and ties. They're wearing suits and ties. That don't make them special. Oh, they got a college degree. Oh, they went to law school. That has nothing to do with anything. Some of these people are doctors and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? Some of these people are grandparents talking about, oh, well, we got to protect the kids whole time. Kids have access to guns. Kids are having access to pills. Kids are having access to alcohol. Kids are getting killed by school buses. Kids are getting molested by teachers and raped by teachers. Like, there's all types of weird shit going on. But weed, come on, bro. Like, this shit is crazy. Hey, man. And I appreciate that. And one of my things is when we went in COVID, right? So again, for me, just a little bit of background on me, because I don't really, you could look me up, but my life has been crazy. But I've been very fortunate and blessed to experience a lot of things. And obviously, y'all see my jerseys, y'all see, my sports accolades. What people don't realize about playing sports at a high level is that one, you get put on a pedestal that you didn't necessarily ask for. You just happen to be good in sports. But me, I went to a Catholic private school in Washington, D.C. around kids that didn't have to play a fucking sport if they didn't want to. They played sports because, oh, if you play sports, you could put it on your resume and get into Brown, get into Yale, get into Dartmouth, get into Harvard. And so when you start being around people like that and you see how they use their power in their voice, in their education, in their resources, you realize, like, oh, because I'm poor. Like, I come from poverty. Like, my parents made it to the middle class. I started playing sports and that navigated me. I'm like, damn. So we fucked up over here because one, they are perpetuating narratives and stereotypes that aren't even real. They are castrating an entire demographic and group of people based on a small number of people. Oh, those black people are terrible because you see that black on black crime. They're in poverty. They don't have education. They don't have healthcare. They don't have good roads. They don't have clean water. They don't have housing. These are the descendants of slaves. Oh, they can't speak, but somehow we still make a way. Somehow the NBA is 75% black. Somehow the NFL is 65% black. Somehow all the biggest musicians, rock and roll, jazz. But then you look at what it come from and you like, oh shit. So once I got out of that situation, out of like poverty, and you realize, oh, I have all the help I need over here. When I got to private school and I became an All-American recruited or a Division I athlete, every white person at my school was on their knees begging to help me with something. And I was like, oh. And like I never used it to like I would be like, I'm just playing the sport. You know what I mean? Like I love the game, but I also like when you and I wasn't even the best player. I had one of my best friends, LJ Hose, got drafted out of high school to the Orioles. Chris Wright was McDonald's All-American, Jordan All-American in basketball, went to Georgetown, played pro ball for a little while. So these are my friends. These are people that, and I'm like fifth. You know what I mean? So, but when you see the power of influence of sports, but then you realize there are certain levels you can't say shit. Because it's like you say shit and people don't either believe you, the people that invested in you are going to take their money back. If you mess up the brand, they're going to cut you. So then that's going to cut your paycheck. And so a lot of people don't say shit. So when, I was living in Upper Arlington, we moved to Ohio. We lived in Grandview for a little bit, and then we moved to Upper Arlington. And I started coaching at the high school, Upper Arlington High School. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like all white public school and like the nicest facilities. And I mean, something just off, right? Because we next to Columbus. I'm like, this is a little bit weird. But I didn't really think nothing of it. Then George Floyd happened, Black Lives Matter, a lot of black boys, we was going through what we was going through. So I was like, well, shit, like my wife is on the news. And I was like, well, I can't. And I was a stay-at-home dad at the time. I became a stay-at-home dad. And I was like, well, I can't be quiet. So I started talking. And I was like, damn, don't nobody in Ohio really be talking that shit. Outside of Ohio State, the Browns, the Bengals, like everybody be talking about bullshit. Shit. And I'm like, I don't really care about sports like that no more. I've been there, done that. Like I've been there, done that. What's next? And so during COVID, we passed cannabis legalization for medical. So I got my med card, and I was like, I could finally start talking about cannabis publicly because, again, I've been a public figure since I was 13, 14 years old. Never came out talking about cannabis or anything publicly. And so I ended up becoming a published author, encouraging cannabis, sharing my all-American cannabis story because my whole time in college, I was smoking weed. Whole time everybody was like, before that, cannabis is bad. This is your brain on drugs, DARE program, X, Y, and Z. And so I'm like, bro, this is fucked up. So again, I started to just share like I have a degree in healthcare, so I studied the Western medical system. You know, a healthcare administration degree can make you, you know, a CEO of a hospital. If I really wanted to go get my master's, get my PhD, I can go be a CEO, be an executive of a healthcare company. And I'm actually am a COO of my own healthcare company, We Care Medical, that we are. It's a startup, so it's not a lot of information out about that, but we're going to be a senior care service, right? So, but that's why I started Ohio Cannabis Report, right? During COVID, there was like, stay away from people. I was like, say less. We started, me and Broderick, because I met Broderick. He was in the industry working at Terrasana, one of the only Black dudes I seen in the industry. I was like, bro, you need to be talking, bro. Like, this is legal now. Like, our whole lives, this has been illegal, and we've been doing it, trying to hide this shit like we drug addicts and shit. Now it's legal, nigga. I'm about to come out and talk, because this is one of the only things I've never talked about publicly. So that's what made me start Ohio Cannabis Report. But then I was like, I can't afford to create a cannabis business, right? Like, I was like, even if I was to go to my homies, like some of my homies that got bread, and be like, yo, I'm about to start this cannabis company, I'm raising 10, 15, 20 million. No, especially when it's not guaranteed that you're going to make that money back. It's not guaranteed that you're going to get the license. So I was like, but what's something that's missing from the cannabis industry? What's an ancillary business, right? Because cannabis is a whole industry. It's not just the plant, right? You got the tools that grow the plant. You got soil, you got fabric pots, you got lighting, you got, you know, computer machines, you got all this shit. But what's an ancillary industry that I can get in where the cost is very minimal and I can have a great impact immediately? I can grow it how I want to grow it. I can do what the fuck I want to do. Media. So I started Ohio Cannabis Report. Went and bought the domain name, OhioCannabisReport.com. That costs $25. Still don't have the website up, by the way, because a nigga's broke, okay? Like, I have a family, okay? This is my passion project. Most of my money goes to the wife, the kids, you know, the savings. This is just for fun. And I wanted to do it very grassroots. So then I got invited to do my nonprofit. So I started doing nonprofit work. And so I've been trying to intermingle cannabis with my nonprofit, Green Environmental Outreach. So, but again, I started educating myself too, because I'm like, I'm not a grower. Like, I've been smoking weed, but I don't grow it. Like, so I had to educate myself. I'm learning more. And so once I got my card, I started to just have more conversations about it personally, became a published author, started Ohio Cannabis Report. And then we lost, me and my wife, we had experienced a stillbirth 4 years ago, October 11th. And so that cannabis really became something, obviously, I leaned on, because I'm like, one, this is something that I've done, but it also just helped me like talk about it, and deal with my grief and my trauma, because I've dealt with grief and trauma my entire life. PTSD, I lost my grandmother at an early age. But again, cannabis has been something that has helped me in my grieving process in life, my PTSD, my chronic pain. I don't really take any other drugs, any other pharmaceuticals. I don't drink like that outside of, you know, some of these. I may have a, you know, a Henny and a Coke every now and again, some bourbon or something, some whiskey every blue moon, but I'm not a heavy drinker. And so cannabis has just been one of those steady things for me just in life. And then being a healthcare person, getting older, being more relaxed and laid back. I don't really party like that. So I started this, and I was like, people aren't getting the information. Then we hosted a few events. So we hosted some live events where we had Juanita Brent. She was over the hemp committee at one point. And so we had her on to teach people how a bill becomes a law. So she literally went over a whole fucking a slide presentation on how to actually get a bill to become a law, how people can go initiate a bill to make it a law. What's a constitutional amendment versus what's the other one? I'm forgetting the other one. It's constitutional amendment, and it'll come back to me. But again, these are things that the average person doesn't know. We're not necessarily teaching this in civics class. I didn't know it. I'm not from Ohio. I don't know how Ohio politics works. So again, we just started to just grow. And this information is on our page too. So if you follow us or you're subscribed to us on Ohio Cannabis Report, we have 2 accounts. So we have Ohio Cannabis Report, and then we have this one, the Ohio Cannabis Report. But some of those things are archived in our page. And so it's just, again, people can make money here and think it's okay, but it's like, nah, bro. Like, I've been around rich people. Rich people don't necessarily work. They work because they want to work. You know what I mean? Like, they work because they're bored. You know what I mean? And so when you realize, like, they be working and doing shit that's fucked up, like, a lot of their jobs be for fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not even an essential thing. And like sports, it's not essential. Like, me being a football player, for me, that shit was essential to get out the hood, to get out my situation. But for the average person going to watch football, that shit is not essential. Oh, like, it just makes me, escape my life for a little bit. Yeah, your life fucked up, so you go watch some other people fuck up their lives and then cheer and then be like, well, you should have ran harder, jump faster, jump higher, and you messed up my parlay. So fuck you, fuck your wife. I hope they trade you. What? And people say that shit and there's no recourse. And that's a lot of energy to put out there. And as a football player, you receive a lot of energy. You see a lot of energy. And so that's why, like, I'm not afraid of the internet shit, the media shit like this, because most people ain't gonna they're not gonna step to you once we get outside. You know what I mean? People that say all types of shit while they in the stands, and then as soon as you get face to face, niggas be scared. You know what I mean? And I'm a trained hitter, bro. Like, so I know I can't fuck with nobody, because if I fuck you up, and you die, I'm going to jail. So that's why I smoke my weed. It keeps my temperature low. It keep me calm, cool, collected, so I don't spaz on nobody. Cause I got PTSD. Kevin, all 50 states was. But yeah, I appreciate that Buckeye Buzz, man. And I mean, part of the reason I did it too was to encourage more people to do this shit. Like, what I'm doing is not that special. You know what I mean? I'm just using the tools that I have at my disposal. Anybody can call out their state representative. Anybody can call out OCAN. Anybody can call out these private elitist businessmen. But everybody's so fucking afraid, like, oh my God, what the fuck they gonna do? If they have poor business practices, if they have poor morality, but everybody just so fucking afraid, and you broke anyway. You poor anyway. Like, you one paycheck away. You barely getting by. And we live in a time where all of this shit is exposed. And that's what they're most afraid of. Like, they don't want you to know certain shit, because if you expose their bullshit, they have nothing. They have nothing. Most of these billionaires, most of their money is tied up in assets. So we can say, yes, they're billionaires, but they don't sit there and walk around with billions of dollars in their bank accounts. No, their businesses are worth billions. The assets, the buildings, the machinery, the payroll, the intellectual property, the jets, the cars. It's all in the business. So then that adds on to their net worth. But they often pay themselves very modest salaries, right? They'll pay themselves $100,000, $80,000. You know what I mean? Because what you paying in taxes on 80,000 versus $1 million is two completely different things. But then we look at athletes and entertainers, right, and be like, well, why doesn't, there's only 1% that's making big bread, right? Like 100 million, 50 million. As a football player, like, the reason I could walk away, because I'm like, yo, like, all right, you make the league. Let's say you make league minimum $2 million for 4 years. That is no money in the grand scheme of things. After taxes, 2 million, you're down to $1 million, right? Jock tax, whatever state you live in, that tax. Then you got lifestyle. You got to live in a safe community. You got to live in a condo. Got to buy a decent car. And even if you buy an F-1450, you're going to buy the tricked out F-1450. You know what I mean? And so a lot of people don't understand, like, these people go from poverty to having a lot of money to not knowing shit. Like, your mom poor. Now you done tried to make it here your whole life to say you're going to retire your mom and buy your mom a car and crib. So now you decide to retire your mom. So your mom has a lifestyle. You have to buy the house. Costs money, cash. They like, and then people are like, how they go broke? How do lottery winners go broke? When you from poverty, like you don't know what money is, bro. Like you gonna spend that money and you're not making no money back. Wealthy people spend money and they make money back. They put money in an investment account and that money comes back. They don't go buy 5 pair of Nikes. I might buy 1 pair of Nikes or 1 pair of New Balances, and I'm gonna invest that money in Nike stock. And that's the game. And we're not taught that game in poverty, right? You're not taught to invest in yourself. Nobody's investing in you because they're not being invested in. And the cycle continues. And once you get out of that cycle, you realize like, oh, this shit is really a diabolical cycle. And not many people are going back teaching and showcasing. It's just a repetitive cycle over and over and over and over and over again. And then you just see a groundswell of fucking money in the suburbs. And it's like, how the fuck are they buying new cars and kids going on vacation and shit? Like, it's a fucking ripple. Like, you look at the nonprofits in our communities, they're heavily underfunded, right? Like, versus a nonprofit in the suburb. You look at a business, a startup business, right? If you have a business idea in the suburbs and it's a basic, simple idea and people like it because they like you, oh yeah, this is gonna be a great business. You're gonna have all the support, all the help. Raise $100,000 before you ever even open the door. You try to open that same business in a different zip code, and your own people like, I don't even know why you're doing that. You open it, then you get robbed. You know what I mean? You open some shit over here, they're gonna rob you too because you're gonna build the business up big enough, and then they ain't gonna like something you say. So then they're publicly gonna castrate you. And so it's a lose-lose situation when you're somebody like me. So that's why I started something like Ohio Cannabis Report. Because I'm gonna get it from all sides, whatever, you know what I mean? Pause. But I talk a lot of shit, but I can also back my shit up because I produce, I get involved. And there's not a lot of spaces for progressive black men like myself. You know what I mean? Like I went to white Catholic private school, went to a predominantly white university as an All-American football player, as a Division I scholarship football player. And then I went to Baptist all black churches. So again, it's a very niche. So I've had no choice but to be on an island damn near perpetually my whole life. And then I played safety. So I'm used to this shit. You know what I mean? And Ohio moved different. You know what I mean? Like people be afraid in Ohio. Like, and I'm media trained. You know what I mean? I'm an actor as well. You know, a lot of people don't know that. So I'm a signed actor, commercial model and actor. And then playing football. People don't understand sports is really like live theater, right? So like, yeah, you got to be good, but it's also very performative, right? Like you look at basketball and they be like, oh, he fouled me. Oh, he fouled me, ref. Oh, get the ball. Like it becomes a performance. And that's why people love, and that's why sports is always so big, because you have everything there that would be a play, but you don't always know the outcome because it's always a different outcome and it's live and it's theatrical. You're in these big spaces. The actors are different. You have referees, so it's a controlled environment, but there's still a lot going on. You have fights that happen. I mean, just look at hockey. It's all live theater, and people get so caught up in that shit. And that's what, like, I don't really talk about sports like that, because it's like once you done live this shit and you get out and you're somebody like myself, you're like, yo, this is fucking diabolical. And I played before NIL, so I didn't get paid, which was some bullshit. And so I'm still trying to get paid from the NCAA from my time. I was a part of a EA Sports lawsuit back in 2016. So I got a few grand for that because I was in the EA Sports video game for NCAA. It's like 2009 to 2012. And I was an impact player on that game. So I got a pretty nice check for that. But yeah, once you see the system, you know business, you understand media, you understand like a lot of shit, you're like, this is fucked up. And you gotta say something about it. And at least I do. And I'm the type of closed mouth don't get fed. You know what I mean? And I'm very grounded and I'm very meek and humble. And it can be challenging because a lot of people, again, people don't like my tone. They don't like, oh, he's arrogant or he's this, he's that. It's like, no, I'm just myself, honestly. Like I could be to myself. Like I'm a Virgo. I don't really like, I'm a very like private person typically. Like I don't really mind being around people, but I don't really like the shit. And I'm very like chill, but I can turn the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like when the lights is on, I could turn up. But also I'm still like, because it all comes with shit. You know what I mean? Like then you got to produce, because then like people like, oh, I want to come see you. I was like, fuck. But if anybody wants to be like, I am looking for some people. I'm looking for a producer for Ohio Cannabis Report. I'm looking for a host. I want some guests for the show because we do have a podcast too. So go check out the podcast on Ohio Cannabis Report under pretty much any podcast platform. Just trying to get the word out there, trying to get the voice, trying to get the information. I encourage other people to start their own shit. Like if you have a perspective, turn the fucking camera on and just talk. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people get so scared and it's like, just talk. You know what I mean? Like it's therapeutic for me too. Like, so, but you also make great connections. I met some great people. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. So I think it's, we have the technology, like, and then we have to understand, like, we don't live in a fucking bubble. You know what I mean? So everybody doesn't know what everybody's lived experience is. And there's a lot of shit going on in the world as well. So a lot of people don't know what the fuck is going on. I think the Ohio cannabis industry is going to start to consolidate. It's already consolidated. Companies' revenues are below projections, and I don't see many people. Well, yeah, because again, they can't even advertise, right? So it's like when you look at the industry, they can't even advertise their products and services. So I have a dispensary right here, and they have a big ass billboard marquee right on the highway, right? We're right at Easton, and it's like nobody knows what that plus 21 means. Is that a strip club? So again, like none of the billboards have it. You don't see any like mailers about it. They're not doing anything on social media or the internet about it. So that's also why we started Ohio Cannabis Report, because I'm like, yo, these companies aren't even marketing or advertising that cannabis is legal in the state, which is crazy to me because one, it's a whole industry. You got social media influencers, you got brand ambassadors, you got journalists that are now in the industry, you got people that want to go talk about the cannabis. Let's go talk to the growers and talk about their processes, right? But everything is, oh, you can't see my shit. There's only so much shit you can do to the weed. But then what are you doing to the weed? Are you remediating the weed? Are you putting is the weed got mold on it and you're putting it through a process? So it's a lot of that shit, right? And that's why we need the craft growers. That's why we need a more robust conversation around it. But that's also why more people have to wake the fuck up. Come out your little fucking shell. Fuck the little job you got. Like, this is an industry. Like, if you are the man in this, you're the man or the woman. I'm one of the only few people that is concentrating on Ohio cannabis. So in 5 years, 10 years, where will I be compared to everybody else? Just because I decided to start 5 years ago. And I don't even be consistent on this shit. You know what I mean? But we already got 122. And I started a whole new page. And I run like 5 different accounts on other shit. You know what I mean? So people just be lazy. Like, people just don't have that shit. I got that shit. Like, I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to make a play. Right? So again, and then you find a niche. I said, boom, I'm a niche down on cannabis, period. My story is going to be built around that. Right? So then you have just lifestyle, you have healthcare, you have mental health, physical health, Black men's health, social equity, policy, finance. You got marketing and advertising, culture, music, athletes in cannabis. That's another one of my brands. So then you just create on that shit. Like, this is cannabis, and I'm gonna just create around that. And then I'm gonna just over-index in that. And then you think about living in a digital space. Now I've created a whole digital landscape using the same smartphone that everybody got. I mean, I just got a new iPhone probably a few months ago. My MacBook about 5-6 years, probably 8 years old now. Probably need a new one soon. I got a basic, webcam, and I use the free everything. Started a YouTube channel and went from there. Started Instagram, Facebook. Those are all free platforms. And then you just leverage it. Make sure y'all follow us on all the platforms. So again, anybody could do this shit. It takes time. It takes fucking, sometimes I got to do this shit late at night. We used to do lives on IG before they shut me down on IG. I would do lives with the community, have hella people coming on, people from the industry. And then people in the industry are scared. Like, stop being a bitch, bro. Like, everybody just being baby back bitches, bro. How you, oh, I'm grown, I'm this, I'm that. You watching YouTube or Instagram videos on mute at your job and scared, looking over your shoulder and shit. Because if you're not moving, they making sure, and if you're not on the call, so everybody's slaves and shit, and then everybody just scrolling on YouTube or Instagram all day, TikTok. They just got to break out of that shit. Because I'm not the one. I told y'all when I was working at Verizon, like I worked for Verizon, like I know the game, the tech game, and that's a fuck. Y'all better do y'all own shit. Perpetually out this joint. If I had someone with money as a partner, we could have both been rich like 2 years ago already. No, you wouldn't have, because you can't even guarantee yourself the fucking license. Like, that's the problem. There was a limited license. So even if you had somebody with money, like you think is way more people in Ohio with enough money that could have put in for that. I mean, just think about all the football players that's making the Bengals and Cincinnati Browns. Then you got the baseball team. None of them own none of the cannabis companies, but all of them smoke weed. Pac-Man Jones got a brand deal, like a probably just a licensing deal with a company. Like, bro, you should own a fucking whole vertically integrated company, cultivator, processor, like everything. But again, like, it's not about even having money here. It's about power and position. And people don't have power and position here. And Ohio is one of them games. And when you play a sport like football, you see the chessboard a lot different. And so a lot of people are down here playing these fucking musical chairs while they up here. And the people could overturn the shit, but the people are destitute. Most people can't even fucking make it to the Capitol building because they lack transportation, right? Because the public transportation is bad. So everybody's divided. The state's super gerrymandered. So they got all of these social issues that we're fighting over. You got different section groups that are just getting more and more money. And I be around all the wealthy people because I follow the money. You know what I mean? I go to the events, like events that I don't get invited to. I just show up because now everything is public record. And everybody's afraid. It's like, oh, well, no, I don't belong. Fuck it. I belong everywhere. You know what I mean? And that's how I operate. And that's why, I get blessed because, and I told my wife, that's how we move. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I've always moved. Like, everything, what's for me is for me. My brain, if it's happened in my brain and I can make it come to fruition, I can make it happen. And I've done that in every season of my life. And the internet makes it that much easier because I'm an idea person. I could talk. It's literally, if I want to create a website, boom, go buy the domain name, create the website. If I want to get some information out, go to Canva, do that. But it's also putting a face to it because a lot of people, your personality is what grabs people, right? Like your story, your personal story. That's what truly grabs people. And everybody has a story. I don't put crazy restrictions on things. There are insane business opportunities on the low. Yeah, even on the high key, bro. In the high key, there are so many business opportunities. Think about business. What people have to understand is business is whatever. You know what I mean? But most people just don't go about their business in a very proper way in terms of just logistics, legally, right? I'll just say that, right? So again, like, yeah, we all doing business in some type of form or fashion. But once you start making 25, 30 racks and none of your shit is on the books, and you buying cars, you buying crib, like you got babies, your wife out here moving, something a little shaky, right? So again, a LLC is only $90, $100. So even if you got a job that you barely making it at, if you start an LLC, go get your EIN number from the federal government or the IRS, which is free. So you only pay $90. You got an LLC. And I'm not a business person, so this is not official business news or information. Entertainment, educational purpose only, just a disclaimer. But most states, state of Ohio, I know for sure, you can get a LLC for $90, $100. IRS EIN number for free. That's the social security number for the business. This is all these business people do. Business people open up multiple businesses and they dump money in those businesses. And then they go to the bank that they opened up the bank account with and they say, hey, bank, I have $100,000 in your bank. I want to build some shit. How much money are you going to give me against this collateral? Oh, well, we can give you 200 on top of that for the building to build it out. We can give you a line of credit. Also, there are other loans for equipment, workforce development grants. And so you got people that start businesses with 500,000, $1 million before they ever even open the door because they worked the system. The average person doesn't know how to work that system. If you just go in and start a regular bank account, which most people aren't doing, especially in the hood, right? You come from poverty, it's check cash loan. You know what I mean? So there's just people operate differently. So then you have the wealthy people that are operating in this vein, and then you have poor working class people, essential class people, even middle class people that don't know this game. And so now, even if you're middle class people, I had a middle class family, and we was still one paycheck away from foreclosure, from the electricity not being paid, from my tuition not being paid. So you got people that are living, paycheck to paycheck because they house poor, right? You got plenty of people that are living in a community because the school's nice, the house is $300, $400, $500,000, but they have to pay that check, that mortgage every month, and they struggle. But you also have people that are getting mom and dad to pay $20,000 towards a down payment. Mom and dad are still paying for the phone. Mom and dad are still paying for daycare. Mom and dad are still paying for vacations. Mom and dad are still sliding you money from here and there. Grandma and grandpa got you in the trust fund. Grandma and grandpa died, left a bunch of shit behind. You was his favorite grandchild, so you got the house, his favorite car, all of his jewelry. Like, and once you start seeing motherfuckers like that, you like, oh, no game. So why would I try to play the same game as those people? I wouldn't. I have to play the game differently. So I have to use what I have to my advantage, which is my experience, my personality, being creative, being quick to adapt. You know what I mean? Being able to grow up in upstate New York, go to DC, go to private school in DC, go to a PWI in the middle of Ohio, Appalachia, come to Columbus. I got to adapt wherever I go. Move to Upper Arlington. So it's a constant. And a lot of people just saying, I know it ain't built like that, but that's also, you got to share your shit. But yeah, I mean, Ohio is and the reason I came to Ohio because I was like, yo, this shit is wide the fuck open. Like when I came to OU and I was like, I love the hills. Like I fell in love with weed in the hills of Athens. Obviously we had the best weed in the fucking state. And then you just around beautiful women. We had 4-to-1 girl to guy ratio. I'm a full scholarship athlete, one of the best athletes in my class. So, I'm getting a lot of pub. And I didn't really feed into it because I'm like, I came here to ball. I came here to fucking win. I didn't come here to fucking lose. I had never heard of a Bobcat, let alone an Ohio University. I didn't give a fuck about the Buckeyes. Like I wanted to go to college, have a good time, play ball, still be a normal dude. And we did that. I played on ESPN 14, 15 times, won a lot of games, won a lot of accolades, met my wife, like, bad. You know what I mean? Like, come on. But it was stuff that I prayed for. It was stuff that I put down, I wrote down, and then I executed the fucking plan. Everything ain't go directly according to plan, but the fucking skeletal outline, like, when I look back on the shit, I'm like, damn, that shit was crazy. because you can't really make the shit up. Like, that shit just happens, and you're like, then you finally get time to fucking sit back and reflect on the shit and be like, damn, that shit was fun. But also, there's a lot of real shit that happens in that. People done die. Like, we had people at school that was on shrooms, jumped out the fucking his fucking dorm room window and shit. Like, you start hearing like niggas die on college campuses. Niggas got to get their guts pumped because they done alcohol poisoning. You done fucking projectile vomited because you was fucked up on Court Street. Like, you start having, you like, yo, this is a diabolical. College is diabolical, but everybody like is held with this high prestige. And you're like, yo, this shit is crazy. Drugs everywhere. You go to a party and your middle linebacker got a fucking mountain. Gee, you want some of this? Nah, I'm good. I mean, I was weak. We get, but it's like, what you think? 18 to 23-year-olds. We had dudes on our team that's like 26. Big ass linemen, 6'5", 330. Motherfuckers fuck you up. And then you're protected, right? Like, you get to pick your classes first. So you got first dibs on classes. You got fans, the teachers, the professors, the administrators, and then you the biggest show in town. You making more money for the school than the professors. And this is what people don't understand. Like, this is why people mad about NIL, because these college athletes is making more money than the professors. But the problem is the professors be tenured. So the professors been getting a lick for a long time. The professors be teaching the fucking same shit over and over. You teaching business ain't never ran a successful business in your life because you just doing accounting or marketing theory, right? Or history or some shit. You know what I mean? So when you really understand like how college break down, you realize like, oh, these niggas is here chilling. A professor might have 2 classes a day, be making 6 figures, be tenured. What? Like, college is a breeze for real. Like, besides the cost, you might have 1 class in a day. The rest of your day is to you. And I played sports, so I didn't have a lot of downtime. But if you don't have a sport, what? Niggas is chilling. Like, motherfuckers be drug addicts in college too. Like, motherfuckers will flunk out of that joint because they drugs and sex addicts, and nobody talks about that shit. Motherfuckers be fucked up. And I know because I went to the #1 party school in the country. Do your research. And I'm proud of it because we was fucking lit. And the fact that I made it out that to my ancestors, and I never got too lit because I was like, we had some good times. I ain't gonna hold you. Spring fest season, and we was 4-to-1 girl to guy ratio too. So like, what? But yeah, that's a little bit of background on me, man. How Cannabis Report is something that, like I said, it's a passion project. It's something that I just started because I realized not a lot of people were doing it and covering it in a way that was, at least to me, fun. So I was like, this is a way that I could actually, use the media, leverage the shit. I own the shit. So one day we'll do some ads, but right until then. All right, I'm gonna finish on this and I gotta head out of here. So they haven't updated the patient caregiver numbers since, I want to mention that, September 31st. So 1,206,698 recommendations. So this is for the medical card. Total registered patients, 462,197. 26,067 patients with veteran status. 26,829 patients with indigent status. 1,556 patients with terminal diagnoses, 93,203 patients with both an active registration and an active recommendation. So these are people, you can get a recommendation and not actually register for the card. So they had all these recommendations, but not everybody actually had the card. Then you have 442,061 unique patients who purchased medical cannabis, reported by ORS, 42,143 registered patient or caregivers, Sales figures as of 10/27/2025. Medical sales began January 14th, 2019. Non-medical sales began August 6th, 2024. Non-medical, we're at $905,983,981 for non-medical sales. For medical sales, you're at $2,257,380,333 for a combined total of $3,163,365,351 of total Ohio cannabis sales in the legal market, medical and recreational. Plant sales average per 1/10 OZ, $18.08. Plant sales average per gram, $6.39. Manufacturer sales average, $25.90. So again, still very high in terms of cost, obviously, because there's still not a lot of competition in the industry. So, it is what it is. But Ohioans should definitely be speaking out. If you're in the cannabis industry or you've been impacted by the war on drugs in any way, I want to have more people with lived experiences, maybe in the prison system or been impacted through work or family, that would want to share their story publicly on our show. Because we need to find a way to help people who have been desperately impacted by the war on this to economically, you can't really heal people, right? Like their situation, but you can give people like reassurance, right? And helping people get money and funding to help them pay for life. Get people involved in the industry, help people become business owners in the industry, become entrepreneurs in the industry in a legal way. And the cannabis industry should be funding that with the $3 billion that they've made. So I don't know what that looks like. Again, I have one perspective. I know there's a lot of egos and pride, but there has to be a way for us to come together, because the politicians are going to do what they're going to do until somebody stops them. And they're not just doing it with cannabis. They're doing it with education. They're doing it with healthcare. They're doing it with pretty much everything. They're funding billionaires. They're giving billionaire tax breaks. Farmers are hurting right now. So it's a lot going on. And obviously, there are people in higher places than me. And so I can only control what I do, you know what I mean? And that's focused on me and my family and trying to help other people the best I can. And trying to just disseminate information, spread the word, because the resources are there. A lot of times these companies struggle to push the resources. Right now, more than ever, like you can't say you don't know. Like if you're on your phone and you can't Google something, you can't chat GPT it, you can't go, you won't look on YouTube, you can search. Like the simple search is crazy. Like my kids are 9 and 5, 8 and 5. 8 and 5, daughter about to be 6. And they know how to use a search. Quick. Hey Siri, this. Hey Alexa. Because the information, you need information. Like we're in the information age. Once I know the information, I can apply that information. The problem is a lot of people get information, they don't know what to fucking do with it. They don't know how to apply it. They don't know how to leverage it. It's leverage. What's leverage? I got leverage. And anything I do, I got leverage. And that's what I bring to the table. Right? And it's simple. It becomes very simple. If you're an American and you have a smartphone, you have whatever, all these things, you have leverage. A lot of us are making choices and decisions because you have to rise above. Like what's old? That shit is old. That shit is gone. It's a new world. COVID happened. New operation, new things. This is the shedding of the old guard. Like Trump is able to do what he's able to do because it's the shedding. Like he's not truly in control. Trump is a little white boy having a temper tantrum. And when you've been around boys and boys in general, white boys, and you see them unchecked, that's what they do. And everybody's a casualty of it. You know what I mean? And if you're not rich, you don't get to throw the fit. And that's it. Like rich people throw fits. Like poor people, you throw a fit, you get fucked up. You know what I mean? Because poor and rich people, you the same. They're your cousins. Your dad just fucked up something. Because once motherfuckers be rich, you be like, damn, the uncle rich, the cousins. Last story, and I gotta head out of there. But I got a homeboy that I played college ball with, and his girl at the time. And like I ain't never seen no rich people like this, but we went to their house and we was playing like around the world, and so they had a bunch of different beers and spirits from around the world, and we were just drinking. And they had a pool at the crib, but in their house they had 6 of the washer dryer dual joints, and I was like, but it's like 10 kids, and I'm like, this is fucking crazy. So then you found out what they did, and they had like 100,000 plus wedding. Kevin Hart was their wedding planner. Then they had dad bought them all the kids got brand new cars when they graduated high school and college. They were real estate developers in Pennsylvania. I was like, yo, this is fucking insane. Like the youngest brother came to the school and he bought the frat house and rented the frat house to. I'm like, what? And so once you have experiences like that, and that wasn't my first time being around like wealthy people, but that was my first time like spending the night at somebody's house, and you got 6 washer and dryers. My wife was there too. We was all there kicking it. And I was like, it's humbling, to say the least. And I was an invited guest, right? Like I'm not a worker. Like I'm the red carpet's being rolled out for me. Like the parents love it. I'm like, they go, what? They so rich, they leave the car keys in the car. So anybody could take any car they want. They got so many cars. Leave the car keys in the car. I might want to take this car. They wasn't no rappers. They didn't play sports. They ain't do nothing but they like build Dollar Generals and shit. I'm like, what? Then the oldest son, he done took over the business, the scale. I'm like, dog. And they was cool, I mean, super cool people. You know what I mean? Like, and they don't move. You know what I mean? It's what it is. And so when you're around really rich people, like they move in a certain type of way. Like they demand respect, they demand accountability, they demand if I'm paying for this service, it better be nice. You know what I mean? Like if you're working and I'm paying you $15, $20 an hour to do a job, most of the CEOs y'all don't even know. Like that's what's so diabolical. Everybody afraid of the CEOs. You don't even know who he is. You are making millions of dollars for somebody that you never see. And the 1 or 2 times you see him, it's like, oh my God, like that's Mr. So. Like these motherfuckers be normal, average, a lot of them be losers. You know what I mean? Like, but they run shit. Like, you want to get paid? And that's how they control shit. But why do they always want to be seen next to an athlete, to a music star, right? Somebody that's a popular person. And so as an athlete, you see that shit. Like you experience it. Like I'm friends with professional athletes. Some of my friends are professional athletes. Like I haven't been in this world for a long enough time. Like the shit is a fucking joke. And a lot of people want to get in this shit. And it's like, it's really not what it's made out to be. You know what I mean? Like it's smoke and mirrors. It's the entertainment business. It's show business. Yes, people are fake because when people are in there, people are trying to smooth to get a fucking job. They're trying to get cast. Oh, we surprised that girls is laying with this dude, that dude. Yes, they trying to get roles because the potential for you to get a good role and then to have a career You know what I mean? Like people will do whatever because this is what they've been sold. But it's a very diabolical world once you get inside of it, and you, especially if you don't have a moral compass, if you don't have structures, if you don't have something to lean on. It's not saying that you like, it's very challenging because it's a lot of shit. You get invited to a Diddy party and you in the music industry. You don't know, right? If you ain't been in this world, you don't fucking know. But guess what? I tell anybody, you can go. You don't stay till the end. You learn that in middle school, high school. At least I did. College, latest. Like, we showing up. I'm scanning the room. Who here? If it's only me and a couple of my homies, whatever. If the party cool, we still not staying to the end. Once the party get 2-pack, we out of here. But you don't never. The only time you stay till the end is if it's at your house, it's your party. Everybody got to get the fuck out. Like, you niggas be overstaying. Oh, they shooting. Yes, nigga. These two niggas is beefing over one chick because she looked at me, dance with me first. You stepped on my brand new shit. Like, no, get the fuck. Or the baby oil come out. And you're like, oh, I ain't signed up for this, but now you done lit. Like, then I pop something in your drink. You done woke up, didn't even fucking know what happened. Now you embarrassed. Now you on camera, so you can't say nothing. People seeing you do it, and they fucking people up. And that's what that shit is weird. That I never got into Hollywood and all that shit. Like, that shit just seemed weird. Like, why the fuck would I do all that? All of that crossing for fraternities and shit. Nah, hazing and shit. Nah, ain't gonna be none of that. But a lot of people think they got to do that shit, and that's the rituals that they get you into. And a lot of the shit, football is a ritual. Like, they get you in there fucking shit up, like your whole body fucked up. And then you don't go along with the program. What they do, they pull the plug. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, he must got CTE. So they write you off. And as soon as they start putting that shit out there, as soon as they call you crazy, right? Look what they did to Kanye. They called him crazy, right? That's the first thing they do. They call you crazy because you're not with the program, right? You're not in the frequency of what we're trying to sell and promote, right? It's these big conglomerate industries and things that control these algorithms. There's only 50 major companies, 100 million. Like, come on. But the people have to understand. You have to break out of that shit. You know what I mean? You have to be individual. You have to be, you know. So that's why the cannabis shit, you know, I'm living and dying on cannabis. Once they legalize weed, oh, there ain't nothing these politicians could say or do to scare me. From talking my shit about weed, from creating cannabis platforms, for interviewing people, for showcasing what's going on right before our eyes, for showcasing what the politicians are saying on the camera, on the record. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're much more comfortable selling kids a Miller Lite than weed. It's literally damn near verbatim what Brian Stewart, one of the state representatives who brought Sub Bill 56, said. These are the people that represent the people. He got kids, he got family, all right, like. And I know white kids be drinking, because again, I done been around them. With mom and dad early. But it's a lot of glass houses here. And that's why the internet shit, you could judge or critique me all you want to. You know what I mean? A lot of my shit, I put my shit out there. You know what I mean? Like, I let you, it's out there. It's already known. You can look me up. I done been online for a minute. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this weed shit, you ain't about to get me for that. Because we done been through hell and high water for the weed, bro. And it's a fucking plant, bro. Like, grow more. We should be growing. We are in an economic downturn, bro. Like, America is fucked up. Soybeans is not getting sold to China. Weed. I was going to farmers 6 years ago. Switch over to hemp. Then switch over to agrivoltaics. Switch over to solar power. Switch over to all of these different things. You got 100 acres, 200 acres, give us 50. You wouldn't believe how many of them people looked at me, and you could just see it on their face. And actually, one of them was my wife's uncle's brother-in-law, who they own 100 acres on Coon Road, the wildest shit. Don't ask any questions. He black, and sickest shit I ever seen. Sometimes I be feeling like I'm in the Truman Show a lot of time. That's why I be going live too, because this is the Truman Show. But offered him like, yo, this is what we could do. 50 acres. He growing corn, soybeans, and this was 6 years ago. Me and my business partner roll up. He's like, no. It's like, all right. Here we are 6 years later. Can't sell them damn soybeans. And what do they use soybeans for? Right? I don't even fucking know. I think feed. But America got to wake up. I mean, I don't think they could build all of the damn data centers here, but they damn sure gonna try. And then we ain't gonna have no farmland left, no clean water. And then when the system crash, because everybody got fed up, now you just got all these computers and shit just, and they not really bringing no jobs in. So weed. And I'm out. Thank you guys, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all hit the bell so y'all know when I'm logged on. If anybody wants to contact me, you can contact me, direct message me on Instagram, Ohio_cannabis_report, or at Ohio Cannabis Report. We're also on Facebook, Ohio Cannabis Report. And then you can email me, ohiocannabisreport@gmail.com. If you want to support our nonprofit, Green Environmental Outreach is the nonprofit. GEOnonprofit.org is our website, and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the conclusion of another episode of the Ohio Cannabis Report. You guys be great, do well, peace and love. And we out.